Well, to start off talking about tier one, I wanted to bring up the science of reading and make sure we're all on the same page about what this is. I think that this phrase, science of reading, gets used a lot, but sometimes I think it's a little bit unclear, maybe what that actually means. And I think it's important to go over. So, science of reading, it's not a single program or website or anything like that. It's really a collection or a body of research which collectively tells us how kids learn to read and why some of them may struggle. And if you're looking through all this research, there are five pillars or building blocks of literacy that kind of consistently come up as being essential. And those are phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. This isn't really a new idea. These pillars are probably not that surprising to any of you, but science of reading, I think, is great. It gives a good big picture view and kind of gives us that evidence for why we actually teach reading this way. So I like to think about the science of reading is kind of telling us what to teach, and MTSS is giving us the framework, kind of like the how of how to do it to make sure that every student gets it. At tier one, that means the student is getting strong, evidence-based reading instruction from the start, and we're screening students so that we know where they all stand. Tier two is kind of a small group time, intervention time, more progress monitoring, so we could keep a close eye on some skills that might need to be targeted there. And for students with more intensive needs, tier three is where we can get more individualized and we can kind of adjust instruction more frequently based on how students are responding. So, tier one instruction really is your most powerful tool because every student gets tier one literacy instruction. I think this is really where you can get kind of the most bang for your buck. If tier one is not strong, students may end up getting tier two and tier three support. Maybe not because they actually have intensive needs, but because they just never really got that solid tier one instruction to begin with. And then you can kind of end up with this like false identification crisis where tiers two and tier three are packed full and teachers, it's too much to do. And maybe the root cause is actually tier one. Prevention, as we know, is more powerful than remediation. It's a lot easier to prevent a reading problem from the start than to try to fix it later. So if you're taking your literacy plan outline back to your team and you're thinking about your tier one literacy curriculum, you can ask, is our curriculum actually evidence-based and is it being taught with fidelity consistently across classrooms?